So you want to be an entrepreneur, huh? Well, according to an article in Fast Company, 75% of venture-backed startups fail. This statistic is based on a Harvard business study by Shikar Ghosh. In a study by Statistic Brain, the failure rate of all U.S. companies after 5 years was over 50% and over 70% after 10 years. Shortly after conducting this interview, I was driving home, listening to music, and kind of got emotional. I guess it was mainly because I felt like I was finally putting myself in a position to create things that would make me proud of myself. Well, here goes. I started Black Business Finder because I understood that it would give me a crash course on entrepreneurship that no college or university ever could. I get a chance to learn from real business owners in their various stages of entrepreneurship. And though I was at the very beginning of my own journey, I had figured out a way to finally get my foot in the door. And that, my friend, is all I would need. I'm Cardi the Creator, and this is The Forum.
So my name is Robert Courtney. I'm an entrepreneur. I started here in Detroit 2004, 2005. Came to work as a barber in the barbershop, the shop you in right now, and basically started my building process there. Didn't really know like what my end game was. I knew how to cut hair, so it was a cool way to generate some revenue, but I knew I had like a bigger plan in the long run. So I started networking, building relationships. Then an opportunity presented itself in 2007 to purchase the barbershop. And I just felt like it was a good move for me for what I was trying to do. Took over the barbershop, and the rest is kind of history. Now I run a marketing and branding company agency based out of downtown Detroit. We build businesses every single day.
Jay Success here, serial entrepreneur. Been an entrepreneur since I was probably about 10, 11 years old. Started raking leaves and then progressed to just doing a bunch of different companies. And the most recognizable business that people connect me with is a company called Press Play that I started 11 years ago. And we work with independent artists all across Michigan. Work with everybody except for Eminem and Kid Rock, but they coming. So I have a printing company, I have a beverage company called Aquaholics now that I'm running, and just connecting with good people and building.
I'm Chris Kyle. I'm the baby entrepreneur of the group. I started Photo Booth 313 in 2015. Just celebrated my 2-year anniversary this past July. If you can see back here, my newest company, which has really took off for me, that's called #Props. I started that December of 2016, so I just did my 1-year anniversary. We've sent over 8,000 signs across the country. #Props is a company that's all about expression. You give us a thought, a phrase, popular saying, or maybe a company logo. We take that, we transform it into a handheld prop. So that's what I do, and I got more businesses to come.
To be cool is to be yourself. I don't give a fuck if you got open-toe sandals with chancletas with jeans on. If that's you, you's a cool motherfucker. This one's for all the cool people, thanks for marketing me. You taught a man to fish and now he's parting the sea. You helped me to invent the name Cardi the C. O-O-L. Wasn't too confident, but now I'm starting to be. Cause y'all don't flow so well. And your uncle got bars like the local jail. I'm trying to bargain for beats and get the shitty brown Beamer with the cocoa smell. Please pardon the seats, they got the pogo feel. From bitches bouncing up and down on them. It's a circus and your uncle about to clown on them. Turn around on them, do the James Brown on them. Are you not entertained? I got this sound for them. But never mind me, they can't find you, they can't dislike you, and they'll never find me.
Yes. The best part to me, because watching and just really being a fan of Chris Kyle's movement on social media, and just seeing everything he doing, and when he stepped into the business field which I already saw that happening before it actually manifested, and just watching who he connected with and having a business that we can all work with, and seeing that he connected with Rob, and me and Rob end up linking and actually doing business and still doing business, and now we building a personal relationship. And to me, that's just the best thing, is your network is your net worth. So I love it.
Funny story. We got another mutual friend, Moolah Films, and so we was putting together a promo campaign for a movie that Moolah was getting ready to shoot, and I told him that I needed to get some signs made for an event that was getting ready to come up in like a week or two. And he was like, man, you don't deal with Jay? I was like, Jay who? So he was like, I'm gonna get him on the phone. So he called him up, this like probably 11:30 on like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. And he called him up, put him on the phone, he blew me off. It was all good though. And I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna hit you up, because it don't sound like you sound like you busy doing something else, which makes sense because my man always moving. So I never ended up hooking up with him for that particular sign, but then I started connecting the dots. I followed him on like, you know, social, Instagram, Facebook. Then come to find out, I had a hat shop that I did for about a year and a half at Southland Mall. Come to find out, this dude was set up right next to me inside the mall with the press play situation. So it's funny, like, I mean, you super connected and don't even be realizing, like,
Full circle.
Yep, it all come full circle.
I feel like greatness always just attracts each other. So.
At some point, you're gonna connect.
Yeah.
What would I do?
That's what he do to everybody.
Hey man, Nick over here live.
You ain't nobody until you somebody.
Yeah. Hey, still ain't nobody. They say, what people say, they gotta kill you for you to be somebody.
Right.
Oh my man.
It ain't. I appreciate that though, because like your time is your number one asset. You know, so like if you ain't bringing value to the situation, like everybody got something valuable they can bring. But if I don't know what your value is, then I might need some time to figure out like how can we connect to where we're valuable to one another, you know? And so at that moment, he ain't see my value. So he had to hold me off for a minute.
My partner Roy is
The business partner, Roy.
My business partner.
What up, Roy?
What up, bro?
Seriously, he'd be on me about relationships, and that's why I lost my mother 2 years ago, and I just put press play on hold right now, and I've taken that time to build, you know. And one of the things about doing the printing business and Aquaholics is you really get organic relationships formed, and I value those relationships, and I always wanted to do that. So, you know, even what Rob is saying, it's like meeting a great person, but sometimes you be so busy and running that you don't have the time to do that, and you need to stop for a moment and take a time to really build relationships. And I'm sure Chris, having, you know, over 20,000 followers on Facebook, getting thousands and literally hundreds of thousands of impressions, he tries to connect with each person on his social media, and that's what really made our relationship tighter. And he don't know that, but to me, because he respond to text messages, and you have to do that, because in business, this could be an opportunity that I passed up if it was personal or you just being too busy. And being in the malls is a different situation than social media, but like he's saying, like my business partner Roy and like what Chris actually does is something that I respect, and I'm doing a lot more than now, is taking that time out to connect with people and build organic relationships. I did, but with as many people as I possibly can.
The top 9 most significant reasons that businesses fail. Number 1, no market need. 2, ran out of cash. 3, not the right team. 4, got out competed. 5, pricing or cost issues. 6, poor product. 7, need or lack business model. 8, poor marketing. And number 9, last but certainly not least, ignoring customers.
That's what really kind of built my following more than anything, was just having that just interpersonal relationship with people, and that was well before I even set out to do the whole entrepreneur thing. You know, I always knew I wanted to be my own boss at some point. Just like most people, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, you know, so I was just building, you know, trying to connect with people. I always make sure I respond to comments. If somebody's showing love, you know, hit the like button on it, thanks for supporting, you know, just all of that. And then I try to incorporate into how I do business, you know. Like, I always have my Facebook notifications on. If you pop in my inbox, if it's about business, I'm responding pretty quickly, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a big proponent of people shouldn't have to look for you or track you down to do business with you. Mm-hmm. You know, if somebody is inquiring about something, if it's of value to me, I'm gonna definitely respond back to you quickly. I'm gonna shoot you my prices. I believe that customer service, you know, if you can just give a quick response, people will quit blowing your phone up, you know what I mean? Because most people feel like when they look at no. Right, exactly. Even if it's a no, but like, they want to know that, you know, number one, their money is in good hands. You're a trusted person. You can troubleshoot, and that, you know, you're accessible. If you make yourself accessible, people won't, you know, feel like you're just blowing them off and whatnot. So I've just tried to really incorporate that with my business. Like a testimony, a testament to that is with my hashtag props company. I have no phone number listed on my website at all. There's 0 phone numbers. People don't have to call me. Everything is done straight through the website and straight through email. We've done over 8,000 signs, no problems. You know, I always respond within 24 hours. If I'm out of town or something, I try to let people know, or I just get the orders done ahead of time. So I think you can definitely cut down on time spent, you know, on the phone, you know, just by simply replying to people. And just, you know, I think that being easily accessible just takes your business to the next level.
I think something that we should also point out is that when my brief conversation with Jay, like, I feel that's something that entrepreneurs don't really think about, is how you can't let like a brief moment of emotion impact like your business. Because, I mean, like you just said, his mom passed, you know what I'm saying? Like, my dad passed a couple years ago, so I know, like, the state of mind, like, you're in when something like that happened. So you don't know what a person going through. So if I would have, in my mind, would have, like, reacted to the fact that it didn't feel like he had time for me, like, that would have potentially ruined a beautiful relationship that was going to, you know, come about at some point. So I think that's something that a lot of times people that aren't homegrown, and when I say home, I feel like you started when you was 11, you said, and like for me, I feel like when I was in high school, I was doing entrepreneurial things, which was kind of like setting the stage for what I'm doing now. But and we've never really talked about it before, but I feel like when you born and bred an entrepreneur, then you don't attach your emotion to a lot of the moves you make. But I think nowadays, because being an entrepreneur has become like trendy and cool, and like people are thinking about leaving jobs, and they've been working regular jobs for a long time. So when you make that transition, like, you have to go into a completely different mindset than you would, you know, when you got a paycheck that you're expecting to come every single Friday. So that's just something that I thought we should kind of point out. Like, I didn't make any judgments off of that 10-minute conversation. It was like, we crossed paths again, you know what I'm saying? We'll connect on a different level.
And just to add to that too, one thing that I wanted to say that's important is building the right relationships. When you have a business or you building relationships with people, then, and it might sound weird, but the energy, the conversation, the intent, you know, you got social media to kind of do some research. You have to take that time and build with the right people. And it doesn't have to be okay, somebody's popular, so you want to use their popularity. You don't have to even want something from them. At our business with Motown Printing, the people that come in, we try to have conversations with them. We try to understand their business. We try to add value. Even when Rob came, one of his, that's a part of his team now, was my old intern, and you know, she went to Cranbrook, she went to U of M, and when I saw them, you know, I didn't do this with any intention from him, and I'm only saying it for the question that was posed, that here, Rob, you guys need to connect. Like, I think this would be a great fit. And when you do things like that, when you try to add value without wanting anything, when you try to build these relationships, when you set these kind of standards, that also helps to when things come up, because everyone that you meet, like he said, is not going to disclose things that's going on in their life. You know, Chris is married. He could have got into whatever with Honey. They could have had a disagreement, and he come off. But if you don't have that relationship to understand that, then you'll just pass judgment. And I think that it's important to build the right relationships with people and just try to have it as organic as possible without wanting anything, but just knowing that the universe is going to look out when that happens. Because when people are stronger together, like we got 2 video people here, I have my business partner here, I got Nick. I want everybody to connect. Right. I don't want nothing from, I want y'all to go make millions of dollars if it's possible. You know, when you have that type of intention, then things just gonna start coming to you, and you'll have that understanding when something does not go right. Because as we all know, things don't go right when you are an entrepreneur. Shit happens all the time. Crazy shit.